Welcome to today's news on TV9. I'm Megan Show. In today's local news, an extra $2.5 million will be paid to the Auckland District's Health Board, while the paid parental leave debates continues. And despite the cloud is set to stay on Queen's Wharf, the question now is who will be managing it. Children's book author Margaret Mahy, one of New Zealand's most acclaimed literary figures, died in Christchurch Monday afternoon after a brief illness. Ms. Mahy has written more than 120 books which have been translated into 15 languages. In the most recent story, The Moon and Farmer Mawhine has won the 2011 New Zealand Post Children's Picture Book of the Year award. New Zealand will get its first 24-hour shopping channel and expects 500,000 Kiwi women to tune in every week. Amy Chin reports.
According to research, almost 69% of New Zealand women buy offshore over the internet. As the 24-hour channel kicks off in October with 8 hours of live broadcast every day, Kiwi Woman is the shopping channel's main target. Shopping Channel Chief Executive Alistair Duff expressed high expectations in an interview with 9 News.
There will be great deals, but it's actually about the demonstration of products for our clients, because often they need their product demonstrated, which they can't do in any other sort of medium.
A key measure of success depends on the number of sales made through the channel and possibly how presenters sell the products.
They're critical to the success of it, because they will be trained, they will research the product intimately.
Even though ambitions are high, Duff explains the ultimate goals of the 24-hour channel.
To promote New Zealand product and bring in international brands, but, localise it being a New Zealand shopping channel, so we can get to support local brands that don't exist in some of the stores.
The channel provides a market for Kiwi companies to test new products, including food and beverage items. Amy Chen, 9 News.
The government and Auckland Council have agreed in principle to keep the cloud on Queen's Wharf. The $9.8 million steel, glass and semi-transparent PVC structure hosted fans and VIP for last year's Rugby World Cup, but its future management and use is still up in the air. Christy Jar reports.
Auckland Council is in talks with the government about the future of the cloud, the $9.8 million white structure on Auckland's waterfront and the venue of last year's Rugby World Cup celebrations. Since the Cup, the cloud has held 29 events featuring over 40,000 visitors, and there are 21 confirmed bookings going forward and 33 expressions of interest. Both local and central governments have agreed in principle to keep the cloud on Queen's Wharf, but a final decision about future ownership and use has not been made. In a statement, the Council says, events at the cloud during Rugby World Cup demonstrated it has the potential to be a major drawcard. The Council is keen to explore how it can be activated for broader community use and help reconnect the city with its waterfront. A regenerated waterfront will be a major driver of Auckland's future economy, and the cloud could play an important part in activating Queen's Wharf as a new public space within the key CBD waterfront interface. But who will manage the cloud is still undecided, with Waterfront Auckland and regional facilities both having responsibilities for running entertainment venues. The Council says it hopes to propose a final recommendation to councillors in August or September. Christy Zhao, 9 News.
Auckland District's Health Board will receive $2.5 million over the next 3 years. Amy Chin has more.
Patients are used to long wait times at the local GPs, at times from half an hour to almost an hour. But that may decrease. Ministry of Health announced that an extra $2.5 million will be given to Auckland District Health Board over a period of 3 years to provide more patient care. After talking with Ministry of Health Tony Ryle, the point is made about the specific benefits and guidelines GPs will follow.
Sometimes GPs get patients who turn up in front of them and they send them off to the hospital system and people wait for months to be treated. When in actual fact, with a little bit of information and a little bit of training, the GP could probably deal with the problem there and then.
The fund does not include Middlemore Hospital, and as Ryle continues, the amount of money is used to allow GPs to do more with their patients instead of referring to outpatient clinics for assessment.
You have to be able to put money in so that you can replace them on the ward, because a doctor or a nurse who is working on trying to change the system isn't able to do their day job. So some of this money goes into helping replace the staff members who are being pulled out to do the productivity projects.
A reported 40% of patients are now assessed over the phone before surgery instead of going to outpatient clinics. Amy Chen, 9 News.
Labour MP Sue Moroney's bill to increase paid parental leave by 12 weeks is expected to be debated today. Finance Minister Bill English has already said he will use his power to veto the bill. But Moroney criticises the government for getting its priorities wrong. Christija reports.
Debate around moves to increase paid parental leave to 26 weeks will head to Parliament today. Labour Early Childhood Education spokesperson Sue Moroney had a members' bill drawn from the ballot in April. The bill, which would extend the paid parental leave scheme from 14 to 26 weeks, was rejected by Finance Minister Bill English as costing too much, with English saying at the time he would veto the bill if it gets to its third reading. But Moroney says the government is stripping parents of their ability to make a choice.
Well, they say that they're concerned about affordability, but the reality is that the National Party has always voted against paid parental leave, even when we've been in times of in good financial times in New Zealand, when Labour was in government. The National Party voted against paid parental leave then, so they just have an ideological opposition to the idea of giving parents the choice to stay home and look after their very young babies rather than being in paid employment.
Bill English has said that the current paid parental leave scheme is already costing $150 million a year, and the government would have to borrow an extra $500 million over the next 3 or 4 years to fund the expansion. But Moroney criticizes the National Party for not getting its priorities right.
Look, it is all about priorities, and Labor's really clear that we want to prioritise spending and investment on those early years for children, because we know that that's going to make us a much better country in the future, and it's actually going to save us money in the long run as well.
Moroney says the government is keen to spend money on tax cuts that favour wealthy people and on consultants for a road that's never going to be built. She expects to get enough support for the bill to pass its first reading, with National and ACT the only parties opposing it. Christy Zhao, 9 News.
Jet lag is usually a term used by travellers going from one time zone to another, but scientists have now coined the phrase social jet lag to show that the phenomenon of weekend sleep-ins and early mornings can take a hefty toll on health. Keisha reports.
It's Monday morning, you struggle to get out of bed and you feel sluggish. Well, fear not, scientists have come up with a handy excuse for you. It's called social jet lag. Sleeping in at the weekend can leave us too tired for the start of the working week, with many remaining groggy until Wednesday. The study at Rush University in Chicago shows that the symptoms are poorer memory and reaction times. Over time, repeated changes to sleep patterns can also make you fatter and more likely to turn to cigarettes and caffeine. Test subjects were asked to hit a button when they saw a bull's eyes appear on a screen. Unsurprisingly, they were slower in the mornings than in the evenings, but they were also far slower after a pattern of sleep similar to getting up early on a Monday morning after a weekend of late starts. The weekend sleep-in wouldn't be a problem usually, but it is the regular shifts of sleeping pattern back and forth that tends to slow us down. A shift of just 2 hours can leave you worse off in the week. Kay Chow, 9 News.
The mind is a powerful tool. Just look at what we've achieved with it. But some may not be aware that the mind can also be a healing mechanism. Our reporter Kay Chow has visited a hypnotherapist to give us a better insight of this method of therapy.
For those who know a little about hypnotherapy, you will know that popular reality shows and drama series like The Mentalist are some examples of hypnosis, allowing the subconscious to absorb the suggestion that changes the way we think and behave is known as hypnotherapy.
A lot of it's just change, so it's changing behaviour, it's changing habits, it's changing attitudes. So it's a way of getting out of your comfort zone without making it too drastic or too hard, so the change comes from within.
For centuries, hypnotherapy has been used in the medical field as an alternative to anesthesia. Nowadays, it is widely accepted as a treatment for change.
Someone with imagination, someone who can see themselves achieving what they want to achieve. So it doesn't necessarily mean someone who's totally in control. It is really good to have someone who is a little bit relaxed and can initially allow the hypnotist to guide them into hypnosis. But from there, later on, they are able to get themselves into self-hypnosis and take it from there as well.
The patient remains fully aware of the process and permits the suggestions sink in and guide the individual's thoughts and actions. It has been quite successful on patients who want to quit smoking or lose weight. And the usual treatment requires 3 sessions, while some people only need 1. Kay Chow, 9 News.
An investigation has been launched into a company called Euroteam, which runs a number of ticket-selling websites for upcoming Olympic and Paralympic Games. London Metropolitan Police have since issued a warning against people buying tickets associated with the company. Now we have our TV9 host from Asia Focus, Julie Nixon, to comment on Olympics hopefuls.
With the football ferns due to kick off against Great Britain in the first game of any sport at the London Olympics, it's time to talk about who's going to win medals. That's for New Zealand, that is. Gold medals are most likely to come from rowing and athletics. In the men's pair, Eric Murray and Hamish Bonds are the favourites. They're unbeaten since they got together in 2009 under coach Dick Tonks. In the men's singles sculls, Mahi Drysdale, the 5-time world champion, is probably looking at his last chance to stand on the winner's podium. At 33 years old, he'll be facing much younger rivals, but no one is doubting his pedigree. In the track and field, Valerie Adams is our best bet. She's unbeaten in a major outdoor competition since 2007, but will need her big occasion temperament to beat her Belarusian rival Nadia Ostapachuk, who's thrown 15 centimetres further than anyone else this year. And in the men's javelin, Stuart Farquhar has a chance for a medal. His throw of 86.31 metres in Hiroshima in April is the 3rd best in the world so far this year. On the track, New Zealand has a proud history in middle distance running. In 1936, Jack Lovelock won the 1500 metres gold in Berlin, setting a world record. That feat was emulated by Peter Snell, who won both the 1500 and 800 metres in Tokyo in 1964, to add that to the 800 he won at Rome 4 years earlier. Our last gold medalist in the blue ribbon 1500 was John Walker in Montreal in 1976. In London, Nick Willis will wear the silver fern in the 1500. On form, the medalist from Beijing is an outside chance for a podium. Another event in which New Zealand has a proud tradition is triathlon, where Andrea Hewitt is looking to win New Zealand's first woman triathlon medal. She's a gutsy competitor, but she'll need to be at her best to beat the Brit Helen Jenkins. In the men's triathlon, Bevan Doherty and Chris Gemmell are veteran campaigners and probably on their last Olympic mission. Doherty needs a gold for the set, while Gemmell would need a medal to crown a career of dedication. Other medal hopefuls include Lisa Carrington in the women's kayaking K200. She was just nipped at the post at the World Cup in May by 3-time Olympic champion from Hungary, so she's a medal chance. The wild card on the equestrian team, of course, is the double Olympic gold medalist Mark Todd. Has he still got it at 56 years old? We'll just have to wait and see.
Thank you, Julian. Now let's take a short break and we'll be back shortly.